Feed Our Trojans is a teacher-led project to feed the 4,424 students who are on free and reduced lunch, who count on having breakfast and lunch at school when school is in session. I'm one of the DECA sponsors. DECA is a student organization for marketing students. We do a lot of community service. It's a little bit overwhelming, just the size of this project. It's kind of like a food drive on steroids because, we're doing the food collection. I've been doing that for about 5 years now, collecting food, doing food drives for the food bank, but now we're also doing the distribution, which is a whole different set of plans. We gave out 3,000 bags on Monday. 1,000 of those were at our distribution sites. The other 2,000 were to day camps and other people, churches that were basically temporary daycares. Each bag has 9 items in it, times 4,500. It was almost 40,000 items that we had to bag and get ready.
One of the mac and cheese.
There's probably kids staying at home that are not allowed out of the house or the apartment or whatever, and we didn't really take that into account. So that's why we had the evening distribution and gave out 45 bags of food. Any kid that says they're hungry, we're giving them food. We don't have a list to check to say, I'm sorry, you're not on the list. Any kid, we're going to feed. I think the biggest challenge has been that we've got to work like 4 or 5 days ahead when the school decision about closing is day to day. From a planner's perspective, I'm having to figure out, okay, do I need to order some food because we've gotten enough donations? Are we going to get enough donations? I don't have to order the food. It's kind of a juggling thing. I've told other people we really don't want to be in this position. We'd rather be back in our classrooms, but if we're not in our classrooms, I would rather be here. We want to support the teachers that are at the Capitol, and we take this on for them.
So I'm going to stand here and hopefully use my principal voice and you can all hear me. So we're going to do our distribution just a little bit different today.
Because of the walkout, the support staff or classified staff, the hourly people, are the ones that are going to be the hardest hit because they're not getting a paycheck this week. And I've seen them in here donating their time, even bringing in some food.
Okay, so we're going to take it over there to that group.
We had a teacher the other day said, I'm sorry, I can't give you any food or money, but I have some gift cards. Can you use those? I was like, oh yeah. Well, when we turned the gift cards over, her name was on them, and so she got these for Christmas, and the kid's name was still on them. And you just kind of like, wow. I hope from this 2 things kind of come out. One, if our district ever has to have an emergency plan or disaster happens and we've got to rally everybody together to whether it's distributing food or collecting clothes, we kind of have a plan now, or we can kind of use this plan as a basis. And the other thing is I really want to make sure that the older kids are going to get fed in a backpack program. Right now, the elementary and the intermediate schools have backpack programs where every 2 weeks on a Friday, they get some snack food and stuff to kind of get them over the weekend. The older kids don't, and that's kind of always has been my goal for several years, but I think this is going to make that happen because these kids are still hungry even though they're older. These kids don't learn when they're hungry. It's not their fault that they don't have breakfast. We have a lot of working poor people in Jinx. They just can't get ahead. They work, they maybe have 2 jobs, and this is what the food bank's here to help.
All right, we're going, boys. We're going.
We need to look at social media and the comments, emails, people talking and saying, hey, I heard you were doing this, I want to be a part of it, or just, thank you for the food. It's a humbling experience to ask for help. It's quite an operation. I've got great people. Stephanie Brumacombe and Molly Mills have been amazing. But the really interesting thing was the students that came and worked, they could mark if they wanted service hours or not. Only 16% said they wanted service hours. The other 84 were doing it because it was the right thing to do. And that gave us some positive vibes, because it was like they're not doing it because they're getting a grade for it or they're getting service hours. They're doing it because it's the right thing to do.